Good morning. I ran into a friend and she told me that since food prices have gotten so expensive, she has taken to going to the food bank to get her fresh fruits and vegetables, which is totally legit. But there are some ways to avoid the food bank. Now, I'm not saying all the time that you could possibly grow, especially if you have a very small place or an apartment or something, that you could grow enough food at home. But there are some things you could do if, say, you weren't able to get out that week. You got injured, the car wouldn't start, whatever. Some ideas so that your diet doesn't include just ramen noodles all the time when you are in a situation where you can't get to aid, or if something really terrible happens and there no longer is a food bank. And that could happen. I think people should be prepared for that eventuality, or maybe that, you don't want to go there. Maybe it's not in a great neighborhood, or there's something going on in the neighborhood, protests or something, and you just can't get there. Food security is important. You need water first, well, air, then water, and then food. And you need a decent place to sleep. When one of these things is not available, it would become a very difficult existence. Now, I'm sure pretty much anybody can afford junk food. You could scrounge around and find somebody to give you junk food, but fresh fruits and vegetables are definitely more hard to come by. I think that there's a lack of knowledge around food. There's a great mystery, and a lot of times when you tell people you garden, they say, I have a brown thumb, and they chalk it off to that, and I don't think that's a good excuse. I think, if it doesn't work, you try again. Let me show you what I like to do with my food here. This is bok choy, and I just retained the bottom portion of the stalk. It's a lot like celery, but it's good to eat when you cook it. So I kept the bottom part of the stalk, and I just rinsed it off, and I set it in water, much like I set the bottom of this onion in some water. This onion, I may have not left enough of this onion, but why are my hands shaking? But I probably did. We'll see. If this starts turning green in the center or yellow and starts poking up, that's when know that it's working, and then little roots will start at the bottom. Every day I rinse it off and it'll grow bigger. And then when it's, when it has a little bit of roots on it, then you can put it into some moist soil. And you just dampen the soil every day. You learn from experience how much water things need. So you can grow back your carrots from about this much. This one I just threw in here yesterday. The first thing that you'll notice is it starts to bow out right here. And then the second thing you'll notice is little green parts start growing back. Our food's alive, and I think a lot of times in the fridge we think, oh, that's dead food, but it's not. And a lot of times it'll grow back. And so you can eat the green tops that grow off this, and then you will get some carrot on the bottom. You could get a third of it back on your plate again just by starting roots on it and then putting it into some deep, loose soil. Carrots are amazing at growing back. Also, okay, these are sunflower seeds. I soak them in water. Next day or the day after, you just rinse them a couple times, and they'll start to get a little white dot right at the tip. You'll see this shell pop open, and they will send roots down. Now, I created this little tray, but you can use a plastic food tray with holes in the bottom. Like if you have a top and bottom part of a plastic food tray, put holes in the top part, turn it upside down, fill it with dirt, throw these little sprouters on top. When they get about yay tall, you have greens that are great for putting into salads, or you can stir fry them, and they're really good. So we like these especially. My husband said he would eat those every day. And $15, you can get a 50-pound bag of these and turn it into a ridiculously huge amount of food. And what you don't eat, like you don't eat the roots and stuff, I throw that out to the chickens and they love it. So if you do have chickens, you're lucky there, or you can just throw it in compost. No need to waste extra trash bags. Now this guy, I dropped him in here yesterday. He's already starting to grow back right in the center. So, last night I did this just for an example. I wanted to show that this celery will grow back. And so many times you can grow things on your own and you really don't need to depend on anybody for them. Hardly anybody on the planet should be depending on anyone else for onions and garlic, the simplest things in the world to grow. Here's your average garlic head you get at the store, and if you break these off and just drop these in the soil, in about 4 months you'll have garlic. But you can eat the greens that grow off the top as it comes up. Just a little planting. I mean, there's so much garlic, so much onions that you can grow just without any effort at all. I mean, I don't even know if you have to water it. And it survives soft freezes, and you know, if you live somewhere cold, you can take in your garlic in the winter and plant it in the spring, and you will have plenty for all year long, and it's super good for you. Super healthy. I had to hop straight into the shower after doing my morning chores, which include letting out the chickens and feeding them, and going in the rabbit pen and giving each of them a fresh bottle of water, and then giving them food. And I gave them a little straw today, and when I was bent down giving them a little straw, Mama Bunny decided to turn her butt towards me and shot me from my shoulder to my hand. That was disgusting. So I was like, I had to rush in and take a shower and get cleaned up early today, which I normally like to laze around, have breakfast, go do my 3-mile walk first, but I just had to skip ahead to the shower today. That's okay, I didn't feel like walking today anyway. When it feels like a chore or something like I just don't want to do it, I don't do it. And that's how I'm going to play this. So the gardens are, you know, I think I want to pull that other peach. The gardens are doing okay. They did go through that real bad dry period, and we went out of town and a lot of stuff got really withered on vine. It'll start to rain again, it'll be cooler, and things won't dry out as quick on the vine. So let's go see what's going on over here. But yeah, planning ahead. This is not an old tree, but it's already giving us fruit. And, you know, we didn't have a huge amount of money this year, but we thought, uh-oh, somebody's getting at it. Somebody cannot have this. I'll put this in the house to ripen. I'm planning ahead for perhaps times of scarcity, because I think they can happen. And if they don't, well, then we just have tons of homegrown fruit. And either way, I feel like it's a win. These are almost ready to go in a bag in the house. This tree is just completely weighted down, so we're going to have to cut it really far back and start shaping this tree better. We already lost an entire branch with a ton of fruit on it. One of the coolest things is having breakfast. Just waking up and eating something you grew. It's so rewarding. We plan this whole yard to be like a Garden of Eden, a garden of permaculture. But really, if you dig down here, it's just mostly clay and dirt. So we have a lot to do as far as improving the soil. Coming in, ladies, gentlemen. Hey, dude. Okay, so now we keep adding more. And this isn't obviously for people who are just, you know, on the brink or on the verge. Having animals is expensive. It will pay you back in the long run, but in the short run, I mean, building a bunny house and this sort of stuff, I mean, this isn't cheap. But in the event that something bad happens, we have it, and it's here for us. And in the event that we don't want it anymore, you take it apart and reuse the materials. These guys get to come out in the evening, because then they don't get enough time out here to start messing things up. We can watch them in the evenings. I'm so delighted with this lovely peach. I don't care about this stuff like that. I will just cut around. No problemo. We can share. There's not that much. So far this year, I mean, we had 4 pounds of peaches, and I made jam with it. We have another pear tree over here. And so far, we've only seen 1 plum off this multiple fruit tree. It's got, I think, 4 or 5, I think they call it a fruit salad tree. It's got 4 different kinds of varieties spliced together into that tree. And the apple trees, we haven't seen anything off yet. The apple trees need companion plants because they're very sad over there. So we need to find a way to mound up dirt around them and give them some buddies, some permaculture friends. If you have any ideas of what I should plant at the base of apple trees, go ahead and leave that in the comments. Looky there, the sun's starting to come up. This is the bag where we ripen the fruit we think we want to see if it's ready. You can force the pears to get ready in the bag. And I think these are going to need maybe 4 more days. Let's give it a smell. It doesn't smell like a pear yet. When it smells like a pear, that might mean it's ready. There's a little bunny I drew yesterday. Just looking at a photo. And some soil. You literally can just take these things, little garlic cloves, and just stick them in here. You could stick your onion in here and just dampen that soil, and you will have garlic and onions. You can eat the tops, and they're great. You know, in an omelet or whatever. There's just 2 little pottery bowls. Pottery things that I made that didn't come out good, so I'll just keep those and use them. Can't sell them because they came out like trash. Wobbles like a potato chip. It's just terrible. My fault. I messed up. So that one's already happy. Well, it was till I dropped it. Here you go. Go in there. When you grow up, I'll eat you. That's just not encouraging. That's not an encouraging thing to say to your sunflower seeds. This guy got too hot outside, so I brought him in. It's basil. So we're gonna let him recover. That appears to be a random tomato seed that came up. Now these are the lemon trees. I just want to show you the progress of growing back these lemon trees from that enormous lemon, that 2-pound lemon that I got. Apparently some people can grow lemons up to 5 pounds. And my workspace is still in pretty good shape. Got kind of a need for some more organization so my tools can be with me out here. Beautiful pottery wheel. I did some trimming. On here yesterday. Here it is. Looking lovely. Signed Silversmith. And you can just pop those little crumbles off there after they're dry. And this is ready to go down to the pottery place and get fired up. Can't do it in my kiln. My kiln stopped working when it got up to 110 degrees outside and burnt out one of the LED lights on the front. But other than that, it's still firing well, so we're okay. But I can really only fit the kids' pottery in it when I have classes. This is going to be a salt pig. Look how cute this one is. Isn't that neat? I could make those all day long. Those are so fun. The things people like to buy, honestly, they like the weird stuff. So I made this weird pot. Things start to not go well on the wheel, then I'll just say, okay, it's too wobbly, it's not going to come out good. So then I turn it into something functional, but you know, maybe a little more artsy-fartsy little. That's what to do when you don't have a perfectly symmetrical bowl coming out. People buy them, I swear. I've sold pretty much all of the weird ones. And then this bowl, this is awesome for noodles. I just want to eat just the most massive pile of noodles or salad or something out of this bowl. Pretty. So I'm going to glaze these in the color scheme of these bowls back here. Bowls and plates, actually. This is my favorite glaze combination right now. It's pumpkin with the aqua ice blue over it. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment below. I'm hopeful that you are having financial success and romantic success and and all the other ways of being successful. Whatever you want, you know. Maybe you're writing a book.
I hope it's coming out awesome.
I have my 2 big pottery shows coming up. I have one in September and one in October, so I'm going to be very busy getting prepared for those. I'm still finishing a very difficult 2-stone ring right now. I've hand-built bezel settings for 2 cut stones and a peridot and an amethyst. It's going to be gorgeous, but I need to work on that. And I'm getting my new contact lenses today. So I'm going to try those out again. I hadn't worn contact lenses in a while. Due to aging, I'm probably going to need to wear readers. What are your thoughts on growing your own food, and even if you live in a small space or you have limited finances, do you think it's a good idea to even try?
Arrgh, look like a pirate.